Assalamu alaikum, my students. I hope you all are doing well. Well, I am Ramsha Farooq, your English teacher, once again with you with our new topic. Today we are doing English grammar topic, which is verbs that are action verbs. Okay, so before moving towards the action verbs, let's just review what verbs are. Verbs have been traditionally defined as words that shows action or state of being. Like in generally in a language, like we call verbs are the words that shows action. Verbs are action verbs. So here we are having two examples which shows action and state of being as well. So our first example is Asha drove all the way to Toronto. So here in this sentence, drove shows action, as Asha is a subject, drove shows action, and all the way to Toronto is an object, right? So in our next example, we are having Xenia seemed happy in Istanbul. Seemed shows, in this sentence, it shows state of being, right? So in this sentence, Xenia is a subject, seemed is a state of being, happy in Istanbul is an object. Now, as we have done with verbs and an example, so let's move towards our next slide. Action verbs, right? So, what are action verbs? Action verbs express specific actions and are used anytime you want to show action or discuss someone doing something. Action verbs express action. It tells the action of someone doing something, right? For example, run, walk, go, stand, jump, smile, or anything that shows action are action verbs. Like we are having example here. I run faster than David. So here run is an action verb. So I here is a subject, run is a verb, and faster than David is an object here, right? So now another example we are having here is he does it well. So he is a subject, does is a verb, it will is a object, is an object, right? Now our last example here is she thinks about poetry all day long. So she is a subject, thinks shows action, about poetry all day is an object. As we have done with the definition and examples of action verbs, now let's move towards our next slide. Our shows a diagram, a chart, which is basically classifying verbs and action verbs, and then action verbs into two kinds, which is transitive and intransitive verb. Now let's check it out. What is transitive verbs first? Verbs, transitive and intransitive. Now, first of all, we are going to discuss transitive verb. Now here we are having a definition of transitive verb, which is a transitive verb is a verb that requires an object to receive an action. These kind of verbs need object to receive an action to explain their reasons, to make the sense in a sentence, right? So our next definition here is intransitive verbs, right? And intransitive verb is a self-sufficient verb and do not require an object to complete an action. So here transitive verb are the one which need an object, which requires an object to receive an action to complete the sense. And intransitive verb does not require an object to complete the sense and action in a sentence, right? So, now before moving towards transitive verbs, examples of transitive verbs, let's check it out what object is. What is an object? The object of any sentence is the one affected by the action carried out by the verb. As here, as we have shown, link. Subject is directly linked to the object and object is directly linked to the subject. As you can see here, two arrows which shows the link between these two, subject and object, which we can say these two are directly related to each other. Now here, as we can say, subject is a doer and object is a receiver. As for example here, the boy likes the dog. So here in this sentence, the boy is a subject, likes verb, the dog is an object, right? So transitive verb need an object, requires an object, and now as we know that transitive verb required an object, so we are having two classifications of objects as well. One is which is our basic need. Object is our basic need. So number one is direct object and number two is indirect object. These are basically the classification of objects, direct object and indirect object. So how you will check it out either the object is available in a sentence or not? So direct object shows what and whom. Basically, we need the answer of what and whom in a sentence to identify the direct object, which means either direct object is available or not. We need to know the answer of two questions, two W's, which means what and whom, right? Now move towards indirect object. So, as direct object requires the answer of two questions, what and whom, an indirect object requires the answer of two questions, that is, for what, to what, or for whom, to whom. Basically, these are four questions, but of these two W's, number one, for what, number two, to what, number three, for whom, number four, to whom. If you find the answer of these questions, that means an object is available in a sentence. Like, let's move towards the next slide. We are having some examples just to clarify your concept of object and indirect object and direct object. Okay, so here, if the first example is I met Natalia. So here I is a subject, met is a verb, and Natalia is an object. I met whom? We are getting the answer here of whom. So I met Natalia, which means an object is available. Why? Because we are having the answer of whom. So Natalia is the answer of whom. Clear? Okay. Another example which we are having here is she cooked delicious food. Now here she is a subject, cooked is a verb, and delicious food is what? Is an object, right? It is a direct object. How? Like she cooked what here? So here we are getting the answer of what? She cooked delicious food. So this is why we can say the object is available in this sentence as well. So she cooked delicious food have an object. So this is a complete sentence here, and we can say that I met Natalia. She cooked delicious food. These both are transitive verb because they are having object in the sentence. Okay. Now another example we are having here is Seema was laughing while watching a movie. So here Seema is a subject, was laughing is a verb, while watching movie. A movie is, if we have to say, is an object, as we can say in a simple sentence, but is it really an object? Do we need, it is an object, right? But is it a transitive verb or not? Just we have to check this out. Seema was laughing. Why Seema was laughing? When Seema was laughing? So, why and when we are having the answer of both, but we don't have the answer of what and whom in here. So, the object is not available here and it is not a transitive verb. Other than that, what is it? It is a intransitive verb. So, our next example is they went Singapore in this vacation. They went where? They went Singapore. When? In this vacations. So in this sentence as well, we are not having the answer of, we are not getting the answer of what and whom. So this is also, so the object is also not available here. So this is intransitive verb. Now the last example is she is running. She is running. So here also the direct object is not available. So this is also an intransitive verb, right? Now, let's move towards our next slide. Intransitive verb. Intransitive verb doesn't have direct object. Intransitive verb doesn't need a direct object or an object to complete the action of the sentence, to complete an action, right? So, intransitive verb doesn't require a direct object. Now, if we say example here, the example is the boy laughed loudly. So here, as you can say that the boy laughed loudly. So here, the boy is a subject, laugh is a verb, and here object is not available, right? So to identify whether the verb is intransitive, you need to know the answer of how. As in the previous slides, I have already explained you that to know either the verb is transitive or not, you need to know the answer of two questions, which is what and whom. What they just tell you, they tell you like the object is available or not. If the object is available, that means the verb is transitive, and if the object is not available, with that, in fact the direct object is not available, so the verb is intransitive. But in this as there is also a one condition. Like what is the condition? To identify the verb is intransitive or not, you need to know the answer of how here, right? So, laugh here is an intransitive verb because the boy laughed loudly. So, if we change this sentence into a question, so what can we say? How the boy laughed? The boy laughed loudly. So, this sentence is a intransitive verb. This sentence consists of intransitive verb, which is laugh. Laugh here is an intransitive verb. Okay. Another is the train stopped suddenly. The train stopped suddenly. So here we are having the key here. So in this sentence, the train stopped suddenly. So if we change this sentence into a question, how the train stopped? The train stopped suddenly. So we are getting the answer of how here. So here stopped is an intransitive verb. Clear? So I have shown you here a key, right? The key is G class. There are examples of intransitive verb. The verbs which are always considered intransitive are die, go, lie, arrive, sit, sneeze. This is noted as the glass. These are some of the verbs which are always intransitive. They can never be transitive, right? So that's all for you for watching the video. Please like the video, subscribe my channel, and click the bell icon on the top of the channel to get the more update and informative content from my channel. Thank you so much. Allah Hafiz.